So there were some things that I needed to say out loud today. Um, because there are times in which I need to remind myself on this journey. Information comes to me and I will retain it, write it down, sit with it. But it takes some time for it to actually like trickle down into my being, um, and for the results of the energy to show up into my life. Um, which, when the energy does for me, it still can be kind of surprising. And I'm working on it, especially because I understand that I'm on a path of constant change. And so, you know, I have to work on my aversion to change. And as I'm further working on my aversion to change, just, looking at one of my own blocks with change is that there are oftentimes the expectations of our loved ones will keep us confined to who we used to be. And we have a hard time either integrating or separating from that. Um, because for myself, I care about their opinion. Um, and, because I am a mother, because I am a wife, and we all kind of feed off of each other. That's what we do as a humanity. We are sharing this experience. So, one experience is not separate from the other. They all kind of like overlapping, if I can say it that way. Um, but my experience overlapping into my children's experience, and my experiences overlapping into my spouse's experience, and vice versa. Um, there are oftentimes the changes that have taken place with myself have been scary, for my children, have been um, new for my children. And their reaction to it caused a reaction in me, which we kind of were, that was paying off, right? Um, but, and it was kind of keeping me stuck, their reaction to my change. Not really being able to put in perspective until now that, if I had to put it in a different perspective, I have adult children and my oldest daughter is 27, and I understand that she's not going to always be who she is today. And if she found herself in my shoes at 43, um, I will be encouraging her through this change, um, because that's always what's taking place. And so in that case, I must do that for myself. One of the major changes that has happened with me, and I have to understand as an individual that the changes that are taking place in me are not happening the same in other people, because there are subtle things that occur in and with us that nobody else sees, that, kind of changes how we see the world. And, just thinking about myself as an individual, though I am 43, I've spent a lot of time with older people. I've spent a lot of time with very educated people. I've spent time with wealthy people. I've spent time with people who have seen fame and came back down. I have spent time with mothers who have lost children. I have spent time with children who have lost mothers. And, us overlapping in each other's experience, it allowed me to broaden how I see the world, and that is because one of the things I'm coming to the understanding of is that I am a highly sensitive being, and what that means, and I always have been, right? In our culture, we associate being sensitive with weakness, right? We associate being sensitive with being a crybaby. I have been called a crybaby so often, right? But what I want to say about sensitivity and being highly sensitive, what that means in other terms is that you can sense things that other people cannot, for whatever reason. And I can give an example of, if you take in a movie, there are people who watch the movie for entertainment and who just enjoy the movie and they are fascinated by what they see. And then there are other people who can pick up on what the writer was trying to convey to the audience when they even made the movie. That's two different type of people, right? And just understanding and owning who I am in this experience that we are all having and overlapping, and being okay with that, even though it is vastly different from my immediate circle, from my culture, from a lot of people who I have spent time with in my past. Um, but being okay with being my individual in a collective, um, and hoping that my individual can help the collective as I'm helping myself to further um, experience this place, and not just in the confines of where I live, who I thought I was, who others think me to be, um, and being okay, in this learning journey. One of the aversions to change for myself in this learning journey was the unlearning process, right? There are times in which, you know, I feel like everything that I knew to be true is slipping away, and getting to the place where that has to be okay, because that is part of unlearning. If you're learning something new, that means something about what you thought you knew is no longer efficient or effective. That's not to say it was wrong. It's just no longer efficient or effective for where you are now, where you want to be, and where you are going. Um, that's like to say, just giving an example, when you were in the kindergarten, you were writing with the real fat pencils, right? And then you moved to the first grade or second grade, and then you got the skinnier pencils. That's not to say the fat pencil was wrong. It's just when you were in the kindergarten, you had the skill to use the fat pencil. There's some kids who can use a skinny pencil in kindergarten. Woohoo! That is also individuality, right? But that's not to say that the fat pencil was wrong. Um, so just saying that, we are to be, or I hope to be, improving my tools, or taking in more tools as I'm trying to further structure the life that the Creator has for me. Um, and that's, where I am today, and letting that be okay.